How's it going, everybody? I'm Jeff Slakey, and behind me is a car that in just a little bit is going to make its debut at the Ridge Motorsports Way here in Shelton. And I've got the crew with me here. It's all part and the brainchild of one of the CTE instructors at Shelton High School, Mr. Beyer. How you doing, Mike?
Doing well. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, thanks for calling me and telling me about this. This is a super cool thing, and it kind of is loosely based off the LeMans, the 24-hour LeMans race, right?
Exactly. In Europe, they have the 24 hours of LeMans, multi-million-dollar vehicles, professional race car drivers. Here in the United States, we have a tongue-in-cheek version that I've heard best described as Halloween meets gasoline. And it is basically a $500 car that you duct tape together and get a crew of enthusiastic, unprofessional drivers, and you go out there and you try to make an endurance race out of it. And we are going to have that race this October at the Ridge. So on a whim, I got together with a few of my former students, and we're going to make a run at it.
All right, well, introduce me to your students here, and then we'll go through this.
So this is Allie Henderson. I have Maurice Castro, Miguel J., Ethan Payment, and Kristen Payment.
So you guys all went through Mr. Beyer's CTE class at Shelton High School and graduated and decided to come back and hang out with him even more.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. What is it about him that you guys wanted to do this, or I know in the school you work on cars, but it's not like this car.
I mean, it's not only that he's a teacher, but he actually, the way he taught us and actually cared for us at school, it wasn't like any other teacher that we've ever had.
That's awesome.
He was kind of like a father there. He didn't just tell you, hey, go out and do work, you get a grade and that. No, he took the time to show us what to do, how to do it, the right way to do it, the wrong way to do it, so we don't do it the wrong way. And so I think it was that for me, that made me like him so much.
Yeah, what about anybody else? Want to talk about that?
He definitely taught us a lot more than just working on cars. I mean, teaches you life skills. He's a stand-up guy, stand-up teacher, and definitely somebody you want to be staying in touch with. And obviously we got invited to do this, and it was an opportunity you can't pass up.
Well, I've been watching you guys work on the car here for a little bit now. Tell me a little bit about the make and the model, and it certainly doesn't look like a normal car on the roadway.
I hope not.
What kind of a car is it?
So
It's a 1992 Toyota Paseo, which is loosely based coupe off of the four-door Echo model, which was an economical, reliable, high fuel economy vehicle. And I thought, well, if we have a prayer of making a $500 car last, we're going to use a Toyota.
So talk to me about the things that you had to take out of the car to make it eligible for racing, and what more you need to add into the car to make it ready to go in October.
Pretty much everything that makes a car street legal needs to come out of it. Stock seats,
airbags,
Interior.
everything on the interior needs to come out. Anything like your washer fluid canister.
even the tiniest crack in a windshield.
Yes.
Really?
Roll cage gets put in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the things that has to be added into the car. So in order for that to go in, we do have to remove basically everything from the car.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And then the roll cage, and I know you have to wear protective gear. And so are all 4 or 5 of you going to be racing on race day? And it's 24 hours?
Yes.
How does it work?
I think actually at the Ridge, their version is going to be 2 12-hour race days. And so I elected not to drive this year, and so I was just going to be the pit crew chief. And so since 2 of my students recently got married, Ethan and Kristen, Kristen is elected to be in the pits with me. As she went through my class, so she's fully capable as well as a technician. So we're going to help to maintain the vehicle and try to keep it going, but our 4 drivers are going to be Allie, Maurice, Miguel, and Ethan.
That's cool. It's really exciting. And coming up soon, you guys have got some track time to feel what it's like there. Have you ever done anything like that before?
I have once, yes, before. I have actually raced on this track.
Okay.
we just did a turn 2 event, simple. You get on the track, you have some fun. You're not being competitive. You're just simply racing against yourself. So I've had a little bit of time on the track, which is really nice to have.
It's one of the premier tracks, not only in the Northwest, but it is quickly becoming one of the premier tracks in the whole country, if not outside our borders as well. I know that through the CTE class, and you were talking about being a trained certified technician. Talk to me a little bit about what you get at the end of the CTE automotive class at the high school.
Well, at the end of the CTE classes, if you were to go through our academy pathway for what we call the MET Academy, Manufacturing, Engineering, and Technology. If you follow the automotive pathway through the MET Academy, and you really apply yourself, you're going to get quite a bit of hands-on experience on live vehicles your junior, senior year, and you'll be eligible to take an industry standard certificate and maybe even achieve an ASE G1 certificate, which is pretty huge for a high school student to be able to achieve. But the school has worked well with me when they brought me on board 5 years ago now. They've listened to myself and my advisory board and really hands-on practical application on live vehicles, customer cars, student cars, community member vehicles. That's key. It's critical to their learning, that to feed into that project-based learning. It really helps them. And you can see this is the culmination of this. All these students were some of my first students to go through, and this is what they're able to do now. So
awesome.
The process really does work.
If you don't mind, one of the things I'd like to add is the way Mr. Beyer runs his shop is different from a normal classroom. You know, instead of someone standing up there just teaching you this is this, you know, and this is that, Mr. Beyer actually runs his shop very much like a real automotive shop would. And that was really interesting for me when I first went in, you know, because we kind of got our own toolboxes and it felt like a real job almost, you know, and that's something that that's something that's really nice to kind of go through.
That's awesome. Now you mentioned $500 car, but it's not just $500. There's a lot that goes into this. And you guys don't have to. I will say they could use some help, right? You guys could use some sponsors.
Use a little bit of help. I have a friend who is quietly in the background that's helping me to finance this. I wanted to give my students the opportunity to do this, not only to show off to the community what the CTE classes, not only my CTE class, but other CTE classes are really doing for their youth. I think that the parents in the community doesn't always have a great idea the amazing employees and employable people that we're putting out into the workforce. There's so much focus on athletics at the school. The different athletic clubs get most of the limelight. But in reality, there's hundreds of our students that we employ every year at the mill, at the shipyard, local construction companies, welding companies, automotive shops. And these are good paying jobs. My philosophy at the school, my teaching style a little bit differently. My world philosophy, really, we can solve all the problems in the world if we just focus on two things.
What are those?
That's leadership and teamwork. And if you can make young people into leaders, and teach them those leadership skills that they're going to take into the world, not only into their employer, but into their community, and to constantly be giving back to their community, and to learn how to work together, because the reality is we all work on teams. Unless you're going to be a microbiologist studying parasites on penguins somewhere at the pole, you're probably going to be working on a team. You're going to be working at a team, and so that teamwork is critical. And those leadership skills to be able to go forward and take on crazy ideas and make them come to fruition, those are the things that make our world a better place.
I have noticed over the years the CTE classes at the high school are pretty amazing when I look back in my time in education, and then now, and I see the classes that are offered in the different pathways. It's pretty amazing. Is there anything else anybody would like to talk a little? Go ahead.
I would love to add the fact that I think that what we're seeing a lot right now since these past couple years is a lot of unemployment in every industry. And one thing that we do get out of Mr. Beyer's class is whether we go into mechanics or not, we can get a job. We can be good employees. We could be employers if we want to. We could be managers. I mean, we learn time management. We learn accountability. You know, we learn very relevant soft skills that people don't think need to be taught. They do. They really do.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Something to add to Christy, you know, is even if something like mechanics or welding, you know, things like that may not be someone's expertise, or let's say they're just not interested in that skill. I always tell people, learn how to work on cars. The amount of people who call me telling me, hey, I need help, I'm on the side of the road, or, you know, they need help with their cars, you know, so that's always been my biggest thing, is learn your car first, because you take it everywhere in this world and you need to depend on it. And so at the very least, learning how to change your oil or some spark plugs, you know, getting the simple things, that's a start.
It's amazing to have spent some time here with this group that in October will be racing around the Ridge in this beautiful car back here, number 75, in honor of the high school as well. And it's going to be a great time. If you have the opportunity to either come out and support the team on race day or in other fashions and just show the support out there, it's a pretty cool thing. How many cars do you know are going to be racing?
I actually haven't heard how many entries there will be. Hopefully none, because
Hopefully one,
then we will be certain to win. But we welcome the competition, and it's just really to have a little bit of community pride. Let the kids have some fun. Just because they graduated doesn't mean that we as adults, as older adults, should stop mentoring them or encouraging them to grow and achieve amazing things. So come on out and support. If you're Shelton graduate, you got to come wear your colors if you can still fit into them, and come and root them on. Yeah, we're red and black. I'd like to see 100 people in the stands wearing red and black, cheering these kids on. Really, that's my dream.
That would be great. It's at the Ridge Motorsports Park, and it is available in October. We'll put the links and the more information that you can get. Thanks for taking some time away from the car here. I know you got to get back to it, but I just, thank you so much. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.